Hey there, I am so glad you found your way here today. Look, we're just going to slow down for a few moments, quiet the noise of the day, and dive into an explainer of Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. It's this profoundly timeless invitation, and honestly, it's meant specifically for those of us who are carrying a really heavy load right now. So just settle in, take a deep breath, and let's get into it. I know you're tired, and I don't just mean, physically tired from a long week. I'm talking about being tired deep down inside. That kind of bone-deep weariness that a good night's sleep just doesn't seem to fix anymore. Our world right now is absolutely fueled by this relentless hustle culture. You're probably exhausted from the endless pinging of notifications, the pressure to constantly present this perfect life online, and just the sheer mental load of holding everything together. It's exhausting constantly answering for everyone, managing every crisis, and pretending you're totally fine when deep down you feel like you literally can't go on another step. So if you showed up today feeling overwhelmed, empty, and just completely exhausted, please just stay here for a minute. Take a breath with me. Now, we aren't here to make any magical promises that all your problems will just vanish in the next 10 minutes, or that following a few steps is some secret formula for instant personal success. Life just doesn't work that way. But we are here to offer a different way to carry those burdens. You don't have to perform here. You don't have to put on a brave face for us. This space is safe, and it's specifically designed for you to just be. Right in the middle of all that exhaustion, Jesus said something so incredibly simple, yet profoundly life-changing. Let's read these words together nice and slow and let them truly sink in. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That's Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Actually, let's read the first part just one more time. Come to me, all you who are weary. Notice that word, all. It's completely inclusive. If you're weary, this is a direct, personal invitation just for you. Now, to really grasp this, we have to look at exactly who Jesus was actually talking to here. Back in first century Judea, the religious leaders had basically piled on hundreds of extra, exhausting laws. It was this massive, heavy burden they expected everyday people to just carry around. Jesus wasn't talking to folks who had their lives all perfectly figured out, or people walking these smooth, untroubled paths. Not at all. He was speaking directly to a working-class crowd who were absolutely exhausted by a system that kept telling them God's love had to be meticulously earned. They were being crushed by the weight of religious demands they could never actually fulfill, right on top of the sheer, unforgiving harshness of just surviving their daily lives. It's kind of like our modern world, isn't it? Just like those religious leaders back then, society today is constantly demanding that we optimize, hustle, and just try harder. We're surrounded by voices constantly telling us we just aren't enough, that if we simply wake up a bit earlier, work a little longer, or care a little more, we'll finally catch up. But amidst all that deafening noise and intense pressure, Jesus offers this radical, totally countercultural alternative. He doesn't look at an exhausted, worn-out crowd and tell them, hey, try harder. He just says, come to me. And here's the thing we so often miss. Jesus doesn't invite the strong. He isn't out there looking for the people who can pretend to handle everything on their own. He invites the weary, the people who just don't want to carry their burdens all by themselves anymore. Just imagine taking off heavy armor or letting a smiling mask just drop to the floor. He isn't asking you to put that armor back on. He doesn't demand that you show up with everything perfectly put together. He only asks you to show up with honesty about how tired you are. Your weariness isn't a lack of faith. It's literally just the reality of being human. Think about it like this. Imagine you've been walking for hours, days, maybe even years, wearing this huge backpack full of heavy stones, and every single stone has a name. There's the stone of grief, the stone of financial anxiety, family expectations, maybe the stone of a scary diagnosis. And with every single step you take, that load feels heavier and more completely unbearable. Your shoulders are aching. But then, suddenly, someone walking right beside you reaches out, gently touches your shoulder, and says, hey, give it to me. Let me carry it for you. Now, the path you're walking, that remains exactly the same. Jesus doesn't magically pave the road ahead or make the tough realities of life just disappear or fix every complex problem in an instant. The real difference is that you aren't walking it alone anymore. In the very next verse in Matthew, Jesus actually talks about taking his yoke upon you. Back in those days, a yoke was a sturdy wooden frame meant for two oxen to share the heavy weight of a plow. Do you see what that means? Jesus is stepping right into the yoke beside you. That heavy, crushing weight is no longer yours to bear all by yourself. He isn't offering to instantly teleport you to the finish line. He's offering to intimately walk the path alongside you, sharing the pole. So finding rest in Him doesn't mean we just shirk our responsibilities or run away from our problems. Instead, it means letting go of this desperate, exhausting need to control things that honestly were never ours to control in the first place. I want to ask you something, and really think about this for a second. How much of your current exhaustion comes from trying to write the ending to a story that isn't even yours to finish? How much of that deep weariness comes from gripping the steering wheel so tightly on a road you can't even see? Letting go of that illusion of control, well, that's where true rest actually begins. And finding that rest can start today, right now, with just a few really small, gentle steps. We'll be looking at naming the burden, praying with honesty, and letting go of one thing. Let's briefly look at how we can walk this out together exactly where you are, sitting right now. Okay, step 1, name the burden. What is it that is draining you the absolute most right this second? Is it a specific financial debt hanging over your head? Maybe an ongoing conflict with someone you really love? Or perhaps it's this deep, unspoken fear about what the future holds. I want you to actually picture it in your mind. What is it? Go ahead and give it a name. Plainly and simply just call it what it is. Step 2, come to Jesus with that specific burden in prayer. Now, I know in our highly independent, do-it-yourself culture, admitting I can't handle this feels like a massive failure. We're totally conditioned to just push through the pain. But here, in the presence of Jesus, admitting your weakness is actually the very first step toward finding peace. Remember, you do not need perfect theological words. You don't have to sound a certain way or clean up your act first. Just offer your raw, unfiltered honesty. You can literally just say, Lord, I can't handle this on my own anymore. And finally, step 3, let go of just one thing that isn't yours to carry today. Just a single worry, or maybe an outcome you've been desperately trying to manage. Make a conscious decision to place it in His hands for the next 24 hours, just for today. Look, I know how incredibly difficult this is. Your mind is naturally going to want to grab that worry right back in about 10 minutes, right? It's going to want to start solving the problem all over again. And when it does, just gently hand it back, over and over if you have to, just for today. All right, take a really slow, deep breath with me. Go ahead and let those shoulders drop. I want to invite you to pray this simple prayer of release with me right now. You can even say it softly out loud if you want to. Let's take this nice and slow. Jesus, I am tired. I have tried everything in my own strength, and I have nothing left. Today, I choose to draw near to you. I hand this burden over to you. Help me to walk at your pace and to find true rest. Amen. If this little quiet moment resonated with you today, go ahead and save this explainer. Keep it tucked away for a time when you feel like you just can't go on and you need a gentle reminder. And please, if you know someone who is silently carrying a heavy load right now, share it with them. By passing this along, you might be that exact calm companion they need walking alongside them, helping to share their weight, just like Jesus offers to do for you. You can be that resting place for them. So as we wrap up and you step back into the reality of your day, I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. What is the one heavy stone you are finally going to take out of your backpack and leave behind today? You really don't have to carry it all. We can journey through this together. One verse, one step, every day. See you tomorrow.